By the way, say the word stirrups to any woman and she's probably not thinking about horses. She's thinking about going to the gynecologist. Right, Tony?
That's what I understand.
That's what you understand, and that's right, because once a woman turns 25, they're supposed to get a pap smear every 2 to 3 years, which screens for things like cervical cancer. But about 1 out of every 4 women in the U.S. are not up to date on their cervical cancer screenings because of things like struggles getting an appointment and, in some cases, hesitation about the invasive process. So altogether, that's about 21 million eligible women not getting screened. But getting that screening regularly combined with having the HPV vaccine significantly reduces your chances of getting cervical cancer, which the American Cancer Society estimates will kill more than 4,300 women in the U.S. this year. Now, several healthcare companies are looking to make the screening process less daunting by letting women gather their own samples. That includes Teal Health, which just received FDA approval for the first cervical cancer test that you can conduct at home. For more on this, we are joined by Teal Health CEO, founder Kara Egan, and once again, CBS News medical contributor, Dr. Celine Gounder. Thank you both for being here. Kara, we'll start with you. Tell us about how this device works.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. As you mentioned, and as all your audience knows, getting a cervical cancer screening, what we call a pap smear, is not easy. It's not easy to find an appointment, and it's not a comfortable experience. Nobody likes the speculum or the stirrups, right? So we've made it so a woman can take her own sample from home in a way that's comfortable, private, and just as accurate as the doctor.
And Dr. Gounder, just to back up, why is this so important to get a screening early and often?
This is a preventable form of cancer. This is something we can prevent both with vaccination and then later also with screening. So I do think it's important to note that the HPV vaccine is not adequately used. Less than 60% of women between the ages of 19 and 26 have gotten even 1 dose of HPV vaccine. So that's a huge missed opportunity because that can prevent almost all cases of cervical cancer. But on top of that, another layer of protection is to be getting HPV testing, to be getting pap smears. The U.S. Preventive Services Task Force recommends that women get pap smears actually in the beginning years, between 21 and 29, because with HPV testing in that age group, you get a lot of false positives. But for older women, once you hit 30, you have the choice, according to the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force, of either the HPV test or pap smear or both.
So, Kara, how does this work? Does it basically work like a tampon?
Yeah, I mean, I have it right here. So how it works is we take the exact same test, as Dr. Gounder said here, as you're using in the office. So the primary HPV, which is an on-guideline screening, and we allow women to collect it at home using this device. And it's very comfortable. It looks very similar to a tampon. You insert it as far as makes sense for your body. It's designed for all women. And then you collect with this soft sponge. And so it's very, very easy. 94% of women preferred it to the standard of care in our clinical trial. And so it's just a great option for women.
And then the screening happens at your lab? They send it somewhere?
Yes, exactly. So you collect it home privately, and then you ship it to the lab. And then the lab runs it on the exact same test that's used in the doctor. The whole time, even though you're collecting privately at home, you're connected with the doctor. So you come to the Teal website, you speak with the doctor, she prescribes the kit and orders the assay. You collect privately at home, send it to the lab, again, the exact same test that's being done in the office. They run it, the results come back, they're reviewed by a doctor and shared with the patient.
And so this is via telehealth, so like a video conferencing or something like that?
Yep, so.
Are there concerns, though? I would be concerned that maybe I'm not doing it right or that I'm missing out on other things if I don't go in person to see a doctor.
Yeah, so this is about a cervical cancer screening. So this replaces the need to go into the office for the pap smear. But there's always reasons why people want to go into the doctor for other purposes. So this is more about the cancer screening. In our study, we found that 98% of women collected an adequate sample. The nice thing about our test that we use, the Roche Cobas, is that you actually, if you don't collect enough cells, you'll just get an invalid. You won't get a false positive or a false negative. So 98% of women were able to collect at home collect the first time. And if you weren't, we'll just send you another kit.
And Dr. Gounder, are pap smears only looking for cervical cancers, or are they also looking to test for other things?
Well, they're also looking to test for, oftentimes the sample's also sent for HPV testing. And so again, HPV, human papilloma virus, is a virus that can cause cervical cancer. It can also cause genital warts. It's also a common cause of head and neck cancer and anal cancer. So there are many reasons, actually, vaccination is really important to prevent all of those, but the pap smear does allow you to, in that context, often send a sample for HPV testing as well.
Yeah. But I think it actually speaks to something that is often confusing to people. Because as you mentioned, in the beginning, you start with the pap smear, and the pap smear is a cervical cancer screening. As it has evolved, we learned that HPV caused the majority of it, and so that's why there's like additional tests that are more accurate than the pap smear. And so we colloquially call it the pap smear, but really what you need to be getting is a cervical cancer screening, which in the beginning could be a pap smear, and as you get older, an HPV test.
Really interesting. It could be a real game changer. Carrie, Egan, and Dr. Gounder, thank you very much. Appreciate it, both of you.